The first question is, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being the worst lesson you taught and 10 being the best, how would you rank that lesson?
I'll rank the lesson at about an 8, since I don't always think, I always believe that lesson could always be better.
So there's always room for improvement.
Correct.
Okay. Question. Thinking about that particular lesson we just talked about in number 1, what pleased you about that lesson?
What pleased me was how the students worked collaboratively together and supporting each other and making the material easier for one another in terms of the level of understanding.
Okay. Think what would you have changed to move that particular lesson closer to a 10? So you already think it's the 8, so how can we move it to a 10?
I was just thinking in terms of maybe using It's Learning for, like, let's say, a free lesson delivery where students would be exposed to the content prior to, so that way the level of understanding would be at a higher place.
Okay, when you say expose them to the content prior to, do you mean like you want them to look at like some type of video
Yes, some
lessons
type
or
of
something
video
before you teach that
before I
concept?
teach that concept.
Okay, just so it can be on their mind. So prior exposure of whatever that current topic is, using It's Learning. What would your students be doing differently if that lesson was a 10 in your class?
Maybe in addition to pre-exposure, maybe more interactive, allowing them to participate in such a way where it's interactive and they're actually doing an activity
Okay.
that's sort of hands-on.
Okay. And you teach geometry. And is this lesson we're talking about, is that your geometry lesson or is that from another course?
It's geometry, but I think of it being applied to any
Okay.
content area.
So across all content, okay. Tell me more about what would you like, or tell me more about what that would look like. I'm sorry.
Okay. I'm thinking in the sense where, for example, where students would have a problem, let's say, or maybe 3 problems, and they'll have to pair up, work on that problem collectively. Once they produce a product, then put it on chart paper to show understanding. For example, if we're looking at trigonometry, maybe the concept of relaying the trig function of the angle to the ratio of the sides. I think it's important for students to know that either one of those will generate the same ratio.
Okay, so kind of like a think, pair, share type of. Okay.
Yes, hopefully they would discover how closely those things relate to each other. Because I believe students don't see the connection between the angles and the ratio of the sides.
Right. Okay. How could we measure that change?
Okay, generally an assessment. We do a pre-assessment, a post-assessment to see if there's any change in terms of understanding.
Okay, so pre and post. Do you want that to be your goal? So do you want your overall goal of this coaching session to be, because it looks like we're trying to get students to collaborate. We're doing It's Learning and you want them to have prior exposure of whatever the topic is. You want more interaction between students and for it to be hands-on. So what could you think your overall goal would be? Would you want just more technology resources for It's Learning, or more things that students can collaborate with, or?
I think overall it's just students taking ownership of the lesson, of their learning, but providing them with the necessary support to make that easier. It seemed like knowledge is not really pursued. Nobody really wants to necessarily know. I don't like to see them just knowing,
Right.
just.
So
making
you
that
want
understand.
them to not really teach themselves, but
Mhm.
be more, I guess, involved in whatever the
Exactly.
specific topic
The
is.
pursuit of it. So whatever the topic is, at the end of it, they have grown in terms of how they understand it and the ability to then reproduce it or share it with somebody else.
Okay. What about, have you thought of, because I see that you said students taking ownership of their learning. Would you like to have them do like maybe different discovery type of activities?
Because in terms of what I was saying, in terms of them just finding the connection, to me that would be more of a discovery as they go through. Hopefully they'll realize that, yeah, yes, definitely discovery.
If you could hit that goal, would it really matter to you?
Yes, it would matter. Especially since they expected to perform on the milestones.
Mm-hmm.
So them having a deeper understanding and hopefully having gained knowledge by being more self-involved would allow them to perform better on the state exam.
What teaching strategy do you think you can use to hit that goal?
I know it has to do with collaboration between students in terms of specific strategy. I'm not sure.
Do you think students even know how to collaborate with each other?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
I mean, that's important because a lot of times when you say collaboration, students just assume one person works and I just copy what you did.
Pretty much.
I don't critique it. I don't examine it.
I have the same issue, so we can look at some collaboration strategies or things students can do to collaborate more effectively and not just make it like a copy and think where both parties or however many group members actually benefit. We have one more question, and it says, what are your next steps? So we kind of talked about some things that you're seeing in your classroom. We ranked the lesson. We talked about you wanting students to have prior exposure of the topic using its learning. So I can work on trying to get like different video lessons. I know we already use Play Positive and stuff like that a lot. I can look into Edpuzzle. Is really good too. It's pretty much almost like Play Positive, but it's a little different. And then we also talked about discoveries. What about gizmos? Do you like gizmos?
It's been a while since I used it. I don't remember what it is.
Okay.
But yeah, maybe I could look into that again.
Okay. So we can look at gizmos. So overall, it looks like your next steps would be, like I'm saying, the main things, something that you pretty much hit in a lot of the questions is student collaboration. Okay.
Maybe I'll add to in terms of not necessarily journaling, but a lot of kids don't document the content.
Okay.
So,
So document the content. So I'm going to take all of this that we have and I'm going to look for, because of course the goal is to use technology, especially since our students are one-to-one. I'm going to look for different ways that your students can collaborate using technology. And also the part about is learning with the prior exposure. And we can do some more, we can do some more stuff with is learning. And I know you still kind of need help with setting up the pages and kind of just organizing it and laying everything out. We can work on that as well. I'm thinking, yeah, PLC. Thinking Wednesday.
next week, okay.
Next Wednesday. Maybe we could spend half the time at PLC and the other half working. But I would, like I said, I will look into all of these, and it looks like we've identified your problem. The biggest thing is collaboration. So I'll take that back and I'll see what we can do from there. Do you have any questions for me? All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome.